Yo, what's happening, people, 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 and welcome back to the Lucid ASMR channel. Now, first off, I want to apologise for not uploading the previous week. I just had a major busy week. It was one of them weeks where it was busy, but I wasn't expecting it to be that busy. Ended up going on like a little last minute holiday, so I wasn't prepared. So I was a little disappointed because I sort of ended my streak of uploading every week so far since starting the channel, but it's fine. We move. We're gonna get this video out, but as you can tell by the title, we're gonna be doing my 2021/2022 Premier League predictions. Now, obviously we're slightly late. I believe there's already been two match weeks. Is that right? 2 match days, whatever you say. And I'm not even sure what the table's looking like, to be honest. I'll get that up actually right now. Okay, so a little bit different than I thought it was, to be honest. We got West Ham, obviously won both the games. Chelsea, Liverpool, Brighton, and Tottenham, surprisingly, have all won. Obviously, I'm a United fan. United drew against Southampton last weekend, but you know, we're not too late. You know, the likes of Norwich and stuff like that, but we're not going to really take that into account. I just wanted to have a quick look, but anyway, let's focus on our predictions, and yeah, let's just jump straight into it and go with who we think are going to get relegated. First of all, the obvious predictions are the teams that have just come up, which are, I believe, Norwich, Brentford and Watford. I hope I'm right in saying that. To be honest, I've just not really kept up to date this like transfer window, and just I'm not fully on it with the football this year. I've not even created a fantasy team. I just missed it. I've been so busy with work and stuff. So I'm trying to get back onto the football and get my head back in it. So yeah, Brentford, Norwich and Watford. Now, realistically, you could just put them all in relegation, but I actually don't think one of those teams is going to get relegated. So, in the 20th spot, we're going to be putting Norwich. Now, I don't mind Norwich. I just don't feel, like I say, it's pretty easy to sort of pick on the people that have just come up, but I just don't think they've got a good enough squad realistically. You're probably going to find I'm repeating myself a lot in this video, but there's not much more I can say on Norwich. I just don't think they've got it. So we're going to put Norwich in 20th, and then, like I said, I always like to tip. You know, I think one of the clubs always tend to do decent. Not always, but I feel like they will anyway in this scenario. In the 19th spot, I'm going to be going with Watford. Again, just don't think they've got a good enough squad at this level. So, you know, they didn't really do any business, not that I know of anyway, but like I said, I didn't really keep up to date with it, so some of you might, you know, pull out some facts that I don't know about, but in my opinion, I just think Norwich, Watford, not good enough squads, not deep enough squads. Now, in the 18th spot, I'm going to be going with a pretty rogue pick. Not rogue, but I just personally think they're going to flop this season, and I think it's time. And I think to get relegated, it's going to be Crystal Palace. Now, obviously, they got rid of Roy Hodgson, I believe. And who they brought in, I'm sure they brought in like Patrick Vieira or someone like that. If that is the case, I think he managed some like American club, or so he's managed somewhere else. Like I said, I'm not too knowledgeable about that, but I think this is the year Crystal Palace go down, and I don't see them staying up. You know, they could just stay up, in might be that they might just. They always tend to just seem to stay up, Crystal Palace. But I'm tipping them to go down this year. Why not? In the 17th spot, I'm going to be going with Brentford. I believe Brentford have just come up, and obviously, like I said, I always like to tip one of the teams. I think Brentford are the team that look the best, to be honest. They've got that striker, what's he called, Tony, I believe. I think he might do alright. He looks decent. I did watch, was it match day 1? I'm sure they won. They beat someone. I can't remember who they beat. Who was that? They beat. Who did they beat? Who did Brentford beat? They beat. Who was it? Was it like? Oh, it was Arsenal. Of course, it was Arsenal. So I think we're gonna go Arsenal. No, I'm joking. Yeah, it was Arsenal. They beat them like 2-0, didn't they? So again, I'm not taking the first game. There's so many points to get, but you never know. Brentford might pull it off. Who knows? In 16th place, all these spots are really difficult to get anyway. It's so tight that it's just really difficult. And any of these teams could just slip underneath each other. Brentford could just get relegated. Crystal Palace might just stay up, but you never know. And in 16th, I'm going to be going with the team that just recently drew with us, and that is I can't spell. Hampton. Is that how you spell it? Southampton. Now, again, Southampton's squad just looks a lot weaker after getting rid of the players that they've got rid of. They've obviously got, the likes of Jay Adams, who scored against us. Well, it was more of an home goal, but I just don't see Southampton doing that well. It might just be a case of, Southampton could get relegated. That's a possibility. See, with those teams there, Crystal Palace, Brentford, Southampton, maybe the next one, it's just going to be really tight between those. And in that case, I'm going to put 15th. We're going to go with Burnley. Again, Burnley got a decent manager in Sean Dyche, but they'll probably end up just staying up like they usually do. 15th isn't too bad for those, so yeah, can't complain with that. But like I said, those predictions are really hard to get nailed because there's very little in them. It's not going to be major points between those teams if that was the case. Now, in 14th place, who am I going to go with? I'm sort of winging this as well, guys. I've not really got an idea. I've got the teams next to me, and I'm just reading off that and just thinking, who would I go? Who would I put where? 14th. Again, these are difficult to put in. I'm thinking maybe Newcastle or Brighton or Wolves. I think Newcastle, Brighton or Wolves. Maybe Wolves. Saying that they've just got... Who have they just brought in? What manager have they just brought in? Oh, I cannot remember. But they got rid of Nuno. And they've brought in someone else. I can't remember. Not a clue. I just don't... I think I'm going to go with Brighton. I'm going to go Brighton in 14th space. Now, Brighton, they're not a bad team. They have put 2 eyes in there. They had obviously Lamptey. I'm not sure if he's back, but Brighton don't actually. I don't mind Brighton. I think they can be alright at times. They can play some decent football. But it's a pretty tight one. I think in 13th, just above those, I'm gonna go with Newcastle. Obviously got the likes of St. Maximin, but again Newcastle just sort of one of those teams that just get by every season, don't really progress much, in my opinion. They just sort of seem to stagnate in that sort of table, in that sort of mid-table section, and never really improve. They're just there. Newcastle are just there. They're just a Premier League team that just survive, basically. And then in 12th, I think I will go with Wolves. Again, not a bad team. Got a likes of Adama Traore. I think what they were missing last year was Jimenez, obviously. Now, to my knowledge, I don't think they've sort of replaced him. They just look like, from last season, they just look like they didn't really have an attacking outlet. They had like one style of play, and if that didn't work, then that was it. That was out the window. And they just really look like they missed the likes of Jimenez, providing a different style of play and being an actual out-and-out striker. And like I said, I don't believe they've actually got that, so I can't see them, progressing any higher up the table. But 12, not too bad for Wolves in my opinion. Now, in at 11, who are we going to put around here? I think this season is actually quite difficult to predict, to be honest, especially around the mid-table areas. I'm going to have to go with, it's going to be... Who are we going to go with? I'm going to put... You know what? I'm going to put West Ham. Now, the reason I put West Ham, they obviously looked really good last season, and I would like to put them higher, but they did fizzle out towards the end, the last stages, and obviously losing Lingard again. Obviously Lingard's gone back. I believe he's back at United, isn't he? See what I mean? I'm not even up to date, but I'm positive that Lingard's back. And I can't really think, to my knowledge, who they brought in that's going to make a significant difference, to be honest. I just feel like... Also, they've got European football. Now, that is another thing I wanted to touch on, actually. With getting European football, I'm very surprised they haven't attracted more of an interest to that sort of club. You would have thought that's where they would have been going. They've still got the likes of Declan Rice. If they could have improved with some, big, not world-class players, but just underneath that tier, I think they could have got that this year, but I don't believe they've done that. I could be very wrong. Like I said, I'm not really kept up to date with the transfer window. I probably should have before doing this video, but we move, we're winging it. But yeah, I just see West Ham sort of not doing as well this season. Maybe not having although they are top of the leagues, but it's a long season. Number 10. Who are we gonna go with? I think it's gonna have to be either. I've got two teams in my mind. I'm gonna have to go with Leeds. Again, Leeds 10th. Not a bad finish for them, to be honest. Last year, where did they finish last year? I can't really remember, but Leeds, not a bad team. I think they've lost and drew so far in the two games they've had, so not a good start whatsoever. But Leeds are sort of them team, they play that attacking football. Great manager, so I can just see them, sticking up and staying around that mid-table 10th spot. Moving on to number 9. I'm gonna be going with, in the 9th spot, is gonna be Aston Villa. Now, Villa could actually finish a little bit higher, but I just think losing Grealish is obviously a massive hit. Obviously, Grealish is class. They brought in Bailey I believe, from Leverkusen, was it? The Jamaican Bundesliga player. No, he's not Bundesliga anymore, but they brought him in, which is, I think that's a really good move. Good talent, probably fits the Premier League pretty well. Fast, good on the ball. So I think he could do alright for Aston Villa. Will he replace Jack Grealish and live up to that sort of role, that reputation? I don't think so, obviously. But you never know. They might hit it off. He might hit the ground running. I just think Aston Villa, a 9th spot isn't that bad. That's alright. So, yeah, again, just the main point is Jack Grealish. That loss might be a big loss, but Villa have got like a good all-round team. They really have. Like, the team doesn't look bad whatsoever, especially on paper. Looks like a really good team. Moving on to the 8th spot, we're going to be going with Everton. Everton, again, not much to say on Everton. They're just sort of that team who finish around this, around here pretty often. So I just picture Everton doing, just staying roughly where they are. They've got a good team like Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, Alan. They've got a good team. So I can imagine Everton finishing roughly around the 8th spot. Moving on to number 7. Who will we put here? This is where it gets interesting. We've obviously got the likes of City, Liverpool, United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Leicester and Tottenham. And I think on that note, we're going to go with again, Tottenham just don't look at it. It sort of just looks like their club's falling apart a little bit. Harry Kane not turning up to training. I believe he obviously turned up and he didn't play in that first game, but he was on the bench in the second. But they're just not in a good place, looking like they might lose Harry Kane. He doesn't really want to be there. But obviously they've still got some class talent. Heung-min Son, Dele Alli's, still a decent talent. They've still got, decent players. Maybe they'll all rise to the occasion, but you just don't see, especially if they lose Kane, where their goals come from, apart from Son. And obviously, even, Son, is Son going to be able to thrive as much as they usually do? Because I love Son, obviously everyone loves Son. Is he going to be able to thrive as much without Harry Kane with him? I don't know, but that's if they lose Harry Kane. Even with Harry Kane, we've seen what they've done. Especially Harry Kane winning, I'm sure he won the Golden Boot last season, so with the amount of goals and assists he got, and even where they finished last season, with Harry Kane doing what he did, they still didn't finish, too high up the table. So imagine if they lose Harry Kane, what happens then? It's a scary thought for the Tottenham fans out there. Very scary. Moving on to number 6. I think in this spot we're gonna be going with Arsenal. Arsenal in the 6th spot. Again, Arsenal. Can't say it's a team that I really like, but not on like a personal thing. It's the Arsenal fans for me. They just think they're better than they are. But on a football level, again, Arsenal spend a lot of money, but haven't really brought in anyone amazing. They've got Ben White and Ramsdale, I believe. And 50 mil for Ben White, or something like that. I know United spent 80 mil on Harry Maguire, and I understand that's not worth it, and I agree with that, but it doesn't justify them spending 50 mil on Ben White. It really doesn't. I can't see Ben White being the next Van Dijk. So, I don't think it's going to help their cause too much. Just haven't really improved from last season. during this transfer window as much as I thought they might. Obviously they've still got the likes of Partey, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe, Saka. They've got a good team, Tierney. But yeah, I can see Arsenal finishing around the 6th spot. In 5th place, I'm gonna go with a very, very light team. It's gonna be Leicester. Everyone loves Leicester. Good squad, good team, play good football, and just an all-round good team. I can actually see Leicester beating out Tottenham Arsenal this season for the 5th spot to get some European football. So that's that really. Good squad, good depth. Jamie Vardy always seems to score goals. So Maddison may be turning back up this season if he's fully fit. So yeah, exciting to see Leicester. Now, moving on to the place where we all wanted. Top 4. I don't know whether to start at number 1 or should we just continue the way we've been going. I think we'll just continue. So, Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool and Chelsea. Let's go for the 4th spot. Who do I think are going to finish 4th this season? My pick is Liverpool. I'm picking Liverpool to finish in the 4th spot this season. Again, obviously Liverpool class team. So, is this a season that I see him turning back up? Do I see him turning it around and getting back on top? I don't, to be honest. I'm not too sure if Van Dijk's back, but either way, I just don't see it. Just for the way the likes of City have improved, and with Grealish, and Chelsea have obviously had a massive transfer window again. Chelsea's squad's looking ridiculous, to be honest. I just don't see Liverpool getting back on top and getting back to that 1st, 2nd spot. I think they'll just, I think they'll stay at 4th. So, moving on to the 3rd spot. And this obviously hurts to say a little bit, but I'm going to go with Manchester United. My team. Obviously, I'd love to put my 1st, but this is the team I know the most about. Obviously, I just feel like we've had a decent, we've had a good transfer window, I can't lie. We've got the likes of Varane and Sancho, 2 massive world-class players. Varane's obviously going to massively help our defence, although he hasn't played yet, which is frustrating. But the biggest problem for me, when I watch Manchester United play, and I watched them play all season last year, is the midfield. And we just haven't picked up any midfield players. I believe there's still chance and there's still rumours going on. But unless we improve in that midfield, I cannot see us challenging for the title whatsoever. You can bring in Sancho, but again, even for the strikers, but we've got Cavani. Martial just doesn't look up for it. I've just not really liked it. I don't enjoy watching Martial play anymore, which it kills me to say because I love him as a person, as a player, but he's not it anymore. He's just not living up to that. Cavani, you know what? How long has he got left? And he's still a world-class striker, technically, but thinking for the future is just not. It's not ideal. Varane at the back, Maguire, Luke Shaw, absolutely class. Wan-Bissaka's class. Rashford's class, Cavani class, Sancho class, Greenwood, we've got the attacking talent. The defence looking a lot stronger. With Varane in it, a World Cup winner. But that midfield with Matic, Fred, McTominay, I'd say Van de Beek, but he never gets played, so obviously Pogba. But you class Pogba as a bit more of an attacking outlet. I forgot Bruno as well. Bruno's going to kill it this season. I've got a feeling he's going to absolutely kill it. But again, just doesn't help the midfield cause. Matic, old, just not got it anymore. Fred can have good games, but he's just like a 6 out of 10 in every game. McTominay, similar, with no real dictators in that midfield. You get Pogba in there, but then again, you've no defensive midfielder. You've no, I'm not a manager, but Van de Beek doesn't get played, so there's obviously something that Ollie doesn't like about him. So again, it's a tricky one for United, but I can just see I'm not just finishing around there. Maybe if we get a midfielder, we can start challenging, because we've got the depth. I believe we've got the depth, but I just think these two clubs are obviously stronger. So these two clubs being Manchester City and Chelsea, both absolute unbelievable squads at the moment. But in the second spot, I'm going to go with Chelsea. Now that is a tricky one for me personally, but I just think City are too strong. Pep's an unbelievable manager. Obviously Tuchel's a great manager, but I just see City, edging it. Now Chelsea have brought in, obviously, Lukaku, and they've got an absolutely unbelievable squad with Havertz, Mason Mount, Ziyech, Pulisic, unbelievable attacking talent. Obviously Kante in the midfield, great midfielders, Jorginho, Kovacic. The defence, could be a little bit stronger maybe. Likes of Thiago Silva. But I think I've got a feeling probably Lukaku, depending if Kane goes City, Kane does it at Tottenham, but I think Lukaku could challenge for that golden boot this season. He looks phenomenal. Obviously, at United didn't quite get it, get going as much as we would have liked. But I did rate Lukaku, and I knew when he went to Italy that he was gonna kill it, and he did. Everyone says Italy's it's a slower league, all that, but no, Lukaku's he's really good. He's strong. I hope I don't regret saying this, but I've got a feeling Lukaku's gonna kill it this season. I think, because I genuinely do think he's up there. He's a world class striker. So yeah, Chelsea to finish second, which of course we've already said it. We spoke about it. Puts Manchester City at number 1. City won it last year with the squad they had. They've only gone and improved this year. What's stopping them? What is stopping them? Phenomenal squad, absolute world class players in there. Adding Jack Grealish in there. I don't see another outcome. I think the only weak link in that squad is maybe Mendy. He had a terrible first game, I believe, didn't he, against, who did he play? I can't remember, but I just know that he had a terrible game. I remember seeing loads of memes and stuff. But yeah, City finished there, so there's not much more to say. I hope I'm wrong. I hope United finish first, and I won't care, but hopefully we can come a look back at this and I can see how ridiculously bad my predictions were. Hopefully not, but yeah, City to finish first, Chelsea second, United third, Liverpool fourth, Leicester fifth, Arsenal sixth, Tottenham seventh, Everton eighth, Villa ninth, Leeds 10th, West Ham 11th, 12th, Wolves 13th, Newcastle 14th, Brighton 15th, Burnley 16th, Southampton 17th, Brentford 18th Crystal Palace, 19th Watford, and 20 Norwich. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video, guys, and I will catch you in the next one. Let me know if you want to see some more football content, FIFA related content, anything along those lines. But yeah, I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace.